And what's more, there's a whole industry devoted to nourishing this. I'm afraid that I am no fan of the book called The Secret. Have you heard of this? If you just think about it, it'll come to you like money. Joel Osteen preaches to 40,000 people a week, telling them that if you just believe in God, he will literally make you rich. And I pointed out that as far as I can tell, the only person for whom this prophecy comes true is Joel Osteen. But I feel bad for the people who continue to believe it as being a legitimate pathway of hope. It's a fantasy. It's not real hope. And I sometimes want to grab my television set and rattle it and say, "Wake up, America," like the people were saying, "Wake up." That's what the choir was singing. Wache auf, ruf uns die Stimme. Wake up to the truth. Rouse to the voice of truth. We believe in magic in this country. In fact, how many of us have been to the Magic Kingdom? Magic is everywhere, and we're deluded by it. And I'm sad about that. Eric Hoffer, the stevedore philosopher, once said, "It is the around-the-corner brand of hope that prompts people to action, while the distant hope acts as an opiate." You see what he's saying? When you can get there, you'll go there. But if it's out there, you're just kind of waiting for it to happen to you. And I think we've become a culture where we're waiting for good things to happen to us. We have become passive, magical citizens. Oh, we just elected this wonderful president. Now everything will be better. What were we thinking? Do we honestly think that when we pull the lever, our job is done? Do we honestly think that if we just wait here long enough with our hands outstretched, the money will fall? Apparently so. So what I'm here to talk to you about in the remaining moments I have is real hope. We already have a basic sense of hope, that tomorrow is worth it. But I want to talk about the hope that can happen. Not wish hope, not fantasy hope, not Disney hope. Real hope. And now I'm going to tell you another story. This comes from a great friend of mine who died recently and at whose service I took part last week when I wasn't here. So it's in honor of Jerry that I tell this story. Jerry tells the story that Irving got up every morning, and before going off to work, he'd look up at the sky and say, "Oh God, everything would be great if I could just win the lottery." Day after day. God, my life would be perfect if I could just win the lottery. Then one day, while he was saying this prayer for the 7,000th time, God spoke back. "Irving, help me out. Buy a ticket." You've got to help your hope out. You've got to buy the ticket. Saw a great bumper sticker years ago. Jesus saves, but Moses invests. If you are not invested in your hope, if you're not putting yourself in it, if you're not following it, if you are not making it possible by your life, you're just a passive partner. You're not even a participant. You're just a passive recipient. You're like a flower waiting to be mowed down. Look at what it says at the top of your order of worship. James Baldwin, what a great man. "The hope of the world lies in what one demands not of others, but of oneself." Honestly, the only hope you have is your hope in yourself, your trust in yourself, your faith in yourself, that you are worth being alive, that you have reality, that you have value, that you have goodness, that you have power. It may not be enough. It may not get you all you want, but you have to start with the hope that you matter, that you count, that you have something worth believing in. You have to buy the ticket. You have to invest. The pastor in the water did not see that his hope was in his own pair of arms to swim over to the boat, or that the boat was full of someone who had hope for him, who would have pulled him on board. God is nowhere there but right here in the hands of everyone else. Great sign I saw in a Catholic church here in town 2 or 3 years ago. Great pastor didn't even know what he was saying, I think. We are the only body Christ has. That's it. God, Christ, whatever you want to call it. If it's not us, it's nowhere. And so our hope has to be in who I am, who you are, what we can be, the around-the-corner hope. And I know it's hard. I know sometimes we live without being quite sure that we're ever going to get there. Hope doesn't mean you know. There's this wonderful passage from Moby Dick that I love, and I want to share it with you. It's a little piece. It's in the middle of the book. So, cutting the lashing of the waterproof match, and after many failures, Starbuck, the first mate, contrived to ignite the lamp in the lantern, then stretching it on a pole, handed it to Queequeg as the standard bearer of this forlorn hope. And there, then, he sat, holding up that imbecile candle in the heart of an almighty forlornness. There, then, he sat, the sign and symbol of a man without faith, hopelessly holding up hope in the midst of despair. Sometimes you are the only light you can see. And that's hard. How many of you have found yourself wondering if you must be the strangest person on the planet because nobody gets it but you? How often have you felt completely alone, completely isolated, rejected, despised? Do you hear the story of Jesus coming out? We are each destined to live. And if we don't believe in our own lives, what else can we possibly be believing in? But I'm telling you, it is hard. There's no question. It's a little bit like Jacob, the patriarch, who at one night finds himself wrestling with a man in the dark. You know that passage? It says angel, but it just says man. Wrestling. Can you imagine wrestling with someone in the dark? And I mean in the dark before there was electricity. Like when it's really dark and you can't see anything and this person's wrestling with you. Why didn't Jacob get up and leave? But in fact, the text said, I will not let you go until you bless me. I think this is the struggle of hope, comrades, friends. We wrestle with ourselves every night, asking ourselves to give our own blessing. Am I worth living? Am I worth loving? Am I worth having faith in? And every morning you wake up, that you decide to wake up and that you don't end it all, you are blessed with your own hope. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are the baby and the mother and the shepherd and the magi. You're all of them. All of you toiling in a nighttime, holding up an imbecile candle, trying to find hope when no one is telling you it's worth hoping anything. And unless you can light that candle, unless you can wrestle that light into life every day, this season is nothing but tinsel. Honestly, friends, this is no special season at all. Every day is a nativity for you when you have to give birth to hope. Hope in your own existence. Hope that today somehow you will be able to swim a little further toward the truth, that you will see a little more light than you saw before, that you will connect with someone. Blessed ones, I can't put it in any better words than that. Make hope alive. Give it birth. Wrestle it into existence. Light the damn candle. Save the world with your sacred hope. Paul, was that good enough for you? Amen.